I think the way that the world is going, I see there's really two big themes. It's around integration and interoperability, so being able to connect lots of different data sets and integrate them into lots of different systems, and then creating kind of this free-flowing stack so that you're not bound by necessarily like one of the big marketing cloud guys, but you can use a CDP to be the backbone or the fabric to then go out and create a best-in-class tool. And with integration comes identity. You can't really do one well without the other. And so as the world has gone from this web experience where everything is primarily or almost exclusively anonymous to these logged in experiences, not only on web, but across all of these different apps on various platforms, certainly mobile at the center of all of that, linking users and user behavior on one platform to deliver a seamless experience to the end customer, so that if I drop off on this platform, that the experience I get is kind of seamlessly connected. The brand knows exactly where I left off and where to pick up. Having sequential targeting and having a consistent experience, whether it's from a marketing standpoint, whether it's from a user experience standpoint, and looking at it really from a 360-degree lens. I think that doesn't, I know that doesn't happen without identity kind of at the nucleus. And so for us, we see identity and integration and interoperability really as like the two or three big trends from 2018 on a, for the next, call it 2-3 years on a go-forward basis.
And finally, for you guys, you've raised a good war chest, and your big crew. What's next for you guys over the next 12 months?
There's a lot. It's going to be continued international expansion. We're still so early on, both in our trajectory, I think, as well as the market opportunity. I think there's certainly a lot of buzz around CDPs. It feels like the hype cycle is starting to reach a kind of peak hype cycle, and that's really happened over the past 6 months. But I think what people don't realize about CDPs is that what it represents is CRM for the consumer. Or for consumer businesses, rather. I think nobody would argue that Salesforce really pretty much completely owns CRM from a B2B standpoint, but B2C CRM hasn't been solved. And part of the reason it hasn't been solved is because the identity linkage has been unstable and really weak, really up until the past couple of years. And so when you think about the market opportunity, less around like this acronym CDP and more around this established market around consumer-centric CRM, there's so much work to do. There's new and emerging platforms being created, yearly. I'm trying to keep up with what Apple is going to announce at their big event in a couple weeks. People think that the AirPods are going to be like the next big platform for them, and then they'll open up the developer ecosystem for AirPods. And that's something that doesn't even exist today, right? So these digital experiences and touch points are creating new opportunities for brands to engage with customers, and that changes the customer experience. And as the customer experience changes, you need underlying infrastructure to capture and leverage that data. And so from a data collection standpoint, I think that there's always going to be more and more experiences and platforms. And then from the activation standpoint, there's always new and emerging players. I think the one constant is change, right? The guys that were necessarily doing like the most interesting stuff 6 months or a year, 2 years ago aren't always the ones that are doing the most innovative and interesting stuff today. And I think the same can be said 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, right? And so how do you help brands keep up with this pace of change that is not only continuing, but I feel like is accelerating? And so at the core of it really needs to be your underlying data infrastructure.